got me thinking about, like, some other mistakes that could possibly be, like, lead to failure, or can be fixable as well, too. But I also put them in the category as top. So as I got myself thinking, I got this pad of paper and I wrote them down. And I want to share them with you guys as well, too. So listen up, because this one here is a top worst DJ mistakes ever that A, can be fixed or can lead to failure. So let's go to number one. Number one, train wrecking. Now that in itself can be fixed. If it's too much, it can lead to failure as well too. Number two, the same track. That is a definite fix, and possibly it could, not saying it will, might lead to fail as well too. Oversyncing. You don't need to oversync. Some mixes are already synced with what you have. Sometimes. But oversyncing will throw things off. That's a tip in that. But that in itself can be fixed. Hang on 1 second, I just got this itch. Sorry about that. Okay, missing cue points. Now that is no biggie. Means you need to pay more attention to your interface. That in itself is fixable. That's number 4. Number 5 is too much clipping. Again, that can be fixed. Will not lead to failure. Another one that can possibly lead to failure is effects overload too much. But it also is fixable. So it's fixable too. So that definitely is a fixable. Number 6. Number 7, talking over vocals. Hard is hard, and it doesn't sound good. So in itself, that there is fixable, but it could lead to fail. Another one is too much pitch speeds. You know, in itself is fixable, but it also could lead to fail result too, if it's too much, like way over. Another one is a definite failure, which is improper mixing. That's a definite no-no. Mixing, all the way. Mixing proper is what you need. That's number 9. Number 8 was too much pitch. Number 9. Okay, and number 10. Number 10 now. Wrong connections. Now, that can be fixed. And sometimes, maybe it could possibly lead to fail. Depending if it's happening all the time. But it definitely can be fixed. Number 11. Missing connections. Now, that can be fixed. That in itself can be fixed. But it could. Again, I'm not saying it will. Lead to failure as well. Another one is staying on one track way too long. Now in itself is fixable, but again, you don't want to have that same track because it could eventually lead to fail. Another one is ejecting the wrong CD. In itself, there is no and at the end of this one. In itself is fixable. It's definitely fixable, including on your set. You can fix that on your set. No biggie. Now one is overdancing on stage. That can be fixed, and it can lead to fail. Now why? If you get overexcited and you're grooving on stage, that could possibly bump something, or you're pulling on a cord. That's why when you're grooving, make sure that you're not overly, dancing on stage. That's what the dance floor is for. But if when you're DJing, you don't want to end up doing that because you want to pay more attention to what you're doing. So that's, in itself, is fixable, and it could lead to fail if, say, that tends to happen just like that. But as it is, let's get down to that was number 14. Let's get down to number 15. Number 15 is leaning in too far. Now, leaning in too far is fixable, but it also can lead to fail. Why? Well, if you're leaning in too far, you could possibly fall onto your stuff, which is a definite no. Another one is it can also like bump something off your set, and you do not want that. That's what that stands for, so that you don't have to lean in too far. That way you can just like, and again, not have too much on there as well, too. So it will prevent that from happening. So in a sense, it's fixable, and it could lead to failure as well too. Another one is having, like, number 16 is having unstable tables. You don't want to have unstable tables, because it might make your stuff completely fall off. And you do not want that, but in itself is fixable. Another one is, you know, being happy. You want to be happy with what you're doing, because the next one coming up, number 17, is not having fun with what you're doing. That in itself is a definite fail. Why? Because everyone wants to see you're having fun with your set. You know, like, that's what drives us, is having fun, having passion. So, if you're not having fun doing that, then it's not exciting. But if you're having fun, it's gonna actually reflect. And that in itself is a winner for having fun, but not having fun is a definite out. Another one, 18, leading off this one, and then we'll be back again for some other ones coming up. Number 18, right, this one's a big one. And it leads to a failure. Now, I don't want to judge people, because that's not me. But here's something they gotta pay more attention to, which will help clear your mind and will help you be the best DJ you got that you are. Is at number 18, being intoxicated or stoned, or tripping out on something. That's a definite failure. You know why? It clouds. It clouds you. Sometimes it can't make you see that well, depending. And no one wants to see that. So, you know, I strongly suggest not like drinking before doing a show, as well as not getting stoned. You know, that stuff you can do after your show, which would be okay. But you don't want to bring that to what you're doing, because you have to have your mind clear. So when you're like on your set, you need your mind to be clear. So that's 18. Rest coming up on part 2. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or any comments in the comment box, don't forget to check out this video, because this video here will actually help you in the long run. So stay tuned. Part 2 is coming up on the top 42 worst DJ mistakes ever that can be fixed or can lead to failure. So stay tuned for more. So thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.